Chuck his dick in the dirt and let's go. Daddy's craving some Asian zing. A relationship should be 50-50. I yell all the time, and she's miserable watching The Big Bang Theory over and over again.
I don't give a fuck if you die from a huffing duster. We probably weren't close. Girls were puckering their lips to your dirty teenage asshole and loving it. I hope that showed up so it's not just us cackling.
It did.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can tell we are ready to record.
It is time for the show.
Action.
And then it's going to be the shittiest episode you've ever heard.
I'm sure it will be, because if you're watching the video, we're in a foreign land again.
Yep.
That camera does not feel right.
No, the camera feels strange. People watching the video.
So if you're watching the video, it might just
this.
be a wall and some orange fuzz. And if there's orange fuzz, I'm not going to explain it.
Yeah, no. It's a Yeti. A Yeti was filming us.
Tiny Yeti.
Tiny baby Yetis film us here.
It's as big as the phone.
Oh, that's so cute.
We're in... What's the opposite of a dungeon? Like a penthouse suite?
Yeah, because
we're in the penthouse suite.
We're in the penthouse because
this is not the dungeon.
So a dungeon is a dark, dank place where you get tortured.
But
it's got to start with a D.
Mm-hmm.
The Dent House suite.
That just seems like a really shady.
It's a penthouse, but we got it at a discount.
That sounds about
It's called
right.
a Dent House.
But it's real fucked up.
It's real, it's a trap house. Like it's still got like, instead of insulation, they just have like the plastic up, and you can still see like the studs on the wall. And
they have like the fly.
Are they finished?
Tapes,
yeah.
and there's a lot of flies.
And there's a lot of just wind blowing in, just blowing all that plastic around.
So just the open hole in the wall.
Yeah, just the open walls everywhere. It's not quite like the one room that we're in is like so nice. Like it's it's got like a bidet that like talks to you and is like, how strong.
That's in the room that we're in?
It's like,
I was picturing a bedroom, so there's also just a bidet in the corner of the room that neither of us will stop using back to back. Trying to sleep and I just hear your ass being clean.
It keeps going, how strong would you like your ass washed today, sir?
And you're like just pressing it and it's like, doesn't go higher.
Would you like the ball wash attachment today, sir? I'm like, give me the works.
And it's just like,
call me Mr. Bubbles.
It's like an old dishwasher when you just hear it like, and I'm like, come on, it's your fourth ball wash of the day. Some of us have slightly dirtier balls that need
like
to be
your
cleaned.
Balls are not as dirty as mine, sir. They shall not be
Can we
cleansed
just put them
before mine are
together?
cleansed. Simply smashing
System
old
override
boy.
too many balls.
Too many sweaty, stinky balls. The conundrum of man. Why does dick look 20 but balls look 80?
This bidet knows me better than anyone.
I
want to pee with you forever.
I want to
God
marry
bless
the
the
bidet.
Dent House.
God bless the Dent House bidet and everything it's done for us up to this moment in time, up to and including a very accurate description of my goddamn balls.
No one's ever been able to put in the words that I seek.
I'm at your wedding sobbing. I'm like, this is a beautiful day, but if it wasn't for the bidet here, I would never know the true scope of love.
Cut his mic off. Like, he's not even holding a mic. He's just
the bidet's not even
loud.
The bidet's not even supposed to be
Muffle
here. It's
it.
so awkward.
Yeah. The bidet does the best man speech.
And the bidet's like, I was going to scream I object during the ceremony, but I felt it would be unceremonious. She'll never know your balls and cock as good as I do.
That's true. Welcome, folks. It's episode 167. As I look off into nothing and hope that that's
and
correct.
There's no goddamn board anywhere to tell
there's
us.
no board. I forgot how. This is just like the Wild Wild West.
We're
just guessing over here.
We're in the wiki wild wild west. Jim West, Desperado, Rough Rider. No,
right,
you don't want none.
Thing. Come on.
None of this. Another run in this.
Like I have a gun to your head.
You have a gun to your head. One song, no mistakes. What are you doing? Yeah, wiki wild wild west.
You do the whole thing, and they're like, I didn't believe the wiki wows, which I know wasn't outlined when we made this agreement.
Okay,
but
now it was the correct amount of wiki wows, but I didn't believe the wiki wild.
I thought it was more like a wiki wah, so I'm gonna have to
wiki wild west. Oh yeah, it just blows my brains out while they
R.I.P.
continue.
to Slim. I told him it was more of a wiki wah, and he always wanted a wiki wow. We listened to it, we're like, No, it is more of a wiki. Well,
In the wild
it's one of those things you wish you could take back, but you
Hmm.
can't, and it doesn't really matter.
Killing Slim out in the wild west.
Yeah, we just listen to all of Will Smith's.
Me and
Will
the bidet out
Smith's?
in the wild west.
We listen to Miami traditionally when the
Oh, yeah.
casket drops. We're going to Miami.
Slim is
Miami,
finally dead.
Miami. Then we listen to Parents Just Don't Understand.
With DJ Jazzy Jeff.
And then I think we're done.
Yeah, I think
Isn't
so.
that it? Those are the big three.
Yeah.
The only three that matter. Isn't there another, like a Halloween one?
Will Smith Halloween Jam?
Yeah, with Jazzy Jeff.
Feels like a topical time to bring it up.
It does. Because when this comes out.
Yeah, what are we...
What the fuck does that say?
Does
this come out on your birthday?
what's-
No, it comes out
no.
on the 23rd.
Yeah.
Well, imagine that, folks. Should we air out the elephant in the room?
Oh, yeah, maybe. I guess this is
I
the
feel like
episode
it's
where
the
we're
time.
doing that.
I wrote some things down. That's how we have a big announcement. It might be the biggest announcement we've ever made.
It's true, yeah.
It might not be.
We're actually handling this with not enough seriousness per usual.
Yeah, we don't know how to be serious. This is definitely, I'd say one of the biggest things that's ever happened to us. The only other thing I could think that would rival this is when we lost the Monster sponsorship.
That was rough.
That was a really hard time for us.
We
I have some notes and I have a bad setup, so I can't read them. But we have decided
collectively
as
between
two men,
us as two men
fat hogs,
with
put it
fat-
all on the record.
with fat hogs, biggest
Dick's
fattest
so big
hog.
that it
Dick-
led to this.
Dick's so big it walks in the room 3 days before I do. We are
gonna take this podcast out back
with a gun.
put a bullet between its eyes.
We're gonna kill it, folks. The death of the Dapper Dads is imminent,
It doesn't feel real, and you'd think that we're joking,
but we're not. We're really not joking. This is how we decided to tell you. We decided to just drop it
We
on you.
decided to not rehearse what
At
we
the
were going to
beginning,
say.
not at
I
all.
have notes. I'm not going to reference them.
We've
It's too
vaguely
awkward.
just kind of talked about it.
we
Back and forth,
We kept
but never
saying we
really
were going
came
to
up with a
sit down
plan.
and really discuss it.
And so I
then
think
when we were both parting ways one day, we kind of threw it at each other.
Yeah, and I think this is the plan. I think the plan is to sit down and just talk it out right now.
Right now, yeah, because we've always been very transparent with you people.
Yeah, we've always let
Again,
you know
this is
what's going on.
1,000% not a joke.
Yeah, we're
No
not
cap.
kidding. This
I
isn't
know
like
it
us.
seems like
We're not
we
gonna,
don't know how to be serious.
We're not going to pull a death grips and like do
No.
this and then
we
like
will
just keep
never
going.
do this ever again.
No,
there are
like-
10 more episodes. Okay, so we're not leaving you high and dry on this episode.
Like, yeah,
which
this
was
isn't
the
the last
normal
one.
plan.
Yeah,
was to just announce it like also at the end of an episode. We're completely done forever. Thanks. Goodbye.
So then when people are like, "Oh, what happened?" We can be like, "We put it in an episode. Did you not listen to
You
the
didn't
whole
listen
thing?"
to the end. You dipped out early. It makes sense. Yeah, could you imagine not listening to the
This
end
is
of
why
the
we
podcast?
ended it.
Like,
This is why we're not doing it
the-
anymore. They're like, "You're not doing it anymore." Yeah, and you would have known that if you had listened to the whole fucking thing.
Which I already know that that's going to come up in real life where
Oh,
people
yeah.
are like, you're not doing the podcast anymore? And it's like, thanks for listening, you piece of shit. So never say it to me. But it's fully done. We have 10 more episodes. We decided that's a nice number to leave you on.
Yes.
The last episode will air January 1st, 2021. Ring in the new year, which is two things. We're going to start the new year with a tragedy for you guys. And we love the fact that we can say it technically went to 2021.
Yeah.
You know how I like, what am I thinking of?
Kind of like when you put like an album at the like how Frank Ocean did Blonde at the end of the year, so it couldn't be on any of the end of the year list.
I just like getting in. It's
like
like sneaky. You know what I mean? Like technically, a lot of
sliding
people
one in,
wouldn't be like being active one day into a year, because now we can say 2017 to 2021,
and that looks,
feels huge.
That feels impressive.
People are like, that's
For-
big. I mean, it's big regardless. This has been a long time, and we're not. I don't want to get too much on like talking about the fact that it's ending. We'll do that on the last episode.
Yeah,
we'll
we'll
have a
get
big,
there.
long, stupid episode where we'll talk about it. But yeah, so I like. I had a word for this, and I feel stupid that I can't think of it.
Should have put it in your notes.
I know. It's just that word over and over again. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what the
I
fuck
can't read it.
It's actually
turns out.
just, I was just clicking on the keyboard. These aren't words.
I'm just going clickety clackety.
It's a word finder, because I was like, this will be fun, and now I can't find any of the words. But yeah, 10 more episodes, not including this one. After this, there will be 10 episodes. We'll remind you on each episode that this is not a fucking joke. And
That
there are just
we're
10
not
last
kidding.
ones.
That
So
is going away.
we want submissions in general. If you've ever had anything
Like,
you want
this
to
is it.
say ask.
This
any
isn't us fucking
stupid
around.
Shit. It doesn't matter. This is literally your last chance. You have 10 episodes, but get them in now.
Get them in before the end of the year at least.
We also want like submissions about the podcast. If you want to tell us like your favorite moments, some nice shit to go over.
We want to
That
put
will
something.
be
If we
on the
get enough,
last.
we could put something together.
Yeah, that we'll go over those in the last episode. So you can submit whatever you want whenever, but if it's about the podcast, we'll save that for the last episode. But yeah, give us the eulogy we deserve.
Yeah.
Tell us what you love. Tell us what you hated.
Write a eulogy
Tell us
for
how
the Dapper
great we
Dads.
are, how sad you're going to be that we're gone. Allude to suicide, but don't actually do it. Just to stroke our egos.
Yeah. Write a eulogy for the Dapper Dads and
Like if you were at the funeral and you know this is possibly our most talked about topic is one of our funerals and
or shared funeral.
Yeah, and the speeches that will take place, whether from us or others or no one, because everyone's just like, throw the dirt, let's get the fuck out of here.
I heard there's a really good lunch going on after this.
Yeah, it's not affiliated. It's just Buffalo Wild Wings. It's that day
We're
that
all
they
just
have
going
boneless for like 5 cents.
We're all just going on Boneless Tuesday after Slim's funeral.
I wish I wasn't buried.
Chuck his dick in the dirt and let's go. Daddy's craving some Asian zing.
Yeah, they just throw your dick in the dirt and then there's just the open casket over there.
Oh,
like, peace.
Couldn't even respect me enough to
even
keep
the grave diggers like boneless Tuesday. Fuck, I forgot.
5
Maybe if I
wing?
eat them in the place, they'll actually be warm temperature wise.
They'll actually be I won't have to
flavor.
reheat them.
So yeah, get submissions in, stroke our egos, and yeah, anything. Like, we don't care. We've gotten a lot of stupid submissions. Sometimes those are funny. These are your last times to do it. You can do it at the website anonymously. It feels like at this point it shouldn't be anonymous. You should come forth and tell us who you are. Call the number, leave a voicemail, text, all the shit, email.
This is your last time to get it in. You've got till the end of the year, basically.
Yeah, and you want to get ahead of it. Don't send it and then we've already recorded. We're not going to record a bunch in advance, ideally, but who knows?
Maybe we'll just do the last 4 all in one day, so the last couple really suffer.
Yeah, we'll do
quality-wise.
24 hour.
Holy fucking
and
shit!
Divide that by 4.
There's not even that many hours left in the of show that we're gonna do.
I know we're gonna go big. I didn't run this by you, but the last 10 episodes will be 7 hours each.
That's incredible.
And then they'll get longer, and the last one will be
a 24-hour long episode.
Well, maybe. The Patreon. The Patreon. Which, speaking of the Patreon, don't think we forgot about you 3 people. It's also going to be done in January. We're trying to figure out a way to leave it active for subscribers, but not charge you any further. There will be no new content. We will do stuff up until then, just like with the podcast.
Right.
But we want to leave it active, so if you haven't listened to all of it, you can not charge you. Also trying to figure out how to allow people, I would assume after people realize that we're not fucking joking about this and your Fridays are lost without us, that more people would sign up to the Patreon to get the stuff that they missed. So we also want to have that available. I'm not sure how any of this works. We'll hopefully have more information.
Yeah, because we basically we don't want to just like take all the Patreon stuff and make it free suddenly because you guys have supported us for so long. But we want to find a way for if you still want to access that content, we can. I don't know if it's going to take like putting it on like a Google Drive and giving people like a download link.
I feel like I know there's a way to do both of these things through Patreon, but I don't know if you can do both of them together.
Right.
I'm trying to read it, but then I get lazy. And we'll figure it out. But yeah, if after January, once the new episodes of Patreon stop, if we are able to keep it open to new subscribers, it would most likely be at a higher like one-time charge instead of the current $5 a month to get it. So you can just get in now or get in whatever that is. I don't think it's going to be like $100, but who knows?
Who knows? I
mean, $99.99
plus
maybe.
Tax in whatever area.
Yeah,
you're
and
in,
we got fees. There's a lot of fees.
A lot of shipping charge.
Merch, we're going to leave available until the beginning of February because I feel like the end of the year, there's a lot of chaos and money being spent. If you want merch of a podcast that will no longer exist, we want to leave that
remember something
open.
that we did, I guess.
Yeah, so that will be until February. After that, it's gone. We might throw out one more shirt with us like dead on it.
Nice memorial shirt.
We might blow our brains out on the last episode and none of this will come to fruition.
Haven't decided yet.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, it's going to be hard to say. I mean, how do you end
something so big and momentous.
Yeah, so
something that means so much to so many people, something that has changed so many lives in so many different ways.
I mean, there's really no proper way to do it, but If I had to guess, it would be blowing our brains out with one bullet.
It would be the that suicide that somebody drew stick figures of us doing that one time where we like jump off a ramp over a pit of alligators into a noose that blows our brains out and then rips our heads off of our spines.
Yeah, something like that. So if you know anyone who can help us build that, please contact us.
If you can get it built before the end of the year.
Yeah, time is ticking.
I mean, fuck a pandemic. If I'm getting my head ripped off, I guess I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, I mean, fuck a pandemic. This is all I have to live for. So.
This is all you have to live for?
I don't have a lot going on.
Me either, baby.
We're going to be totally fine once this is done.
Oh, yeah, no, we're going to be very fine once the show's over.
What else? Yeah, we're also not sure how the regular audio, if you're an audio listener, how that will stay. We still have to pay to maintain that. So I think at least a year, I would like to keep that active. I'm not sure how it'll work after that. The YouTube videos should always forever
just
exist
be there
until the day when we both are like, this is ruining our like real lives
personal
now
lives.
that this has been around too long. Then we delete it all. But that's the one place I think it would be. I'm not sure how like stopping paying on the. There's a lot of things that traditionally in Dapper Dad's fashion we have not worked out. Because we woke up this morning and we were both like, let's end it. And we're just like,
now we're here.
What else? Yeah, I don't know. We're still planning on doing things together, creative things as the Dapper Dads.
The Dapper Dads are not dead.
Yeah, the brand will continue. There will just, this podcast, any podcast as this is gone.
Right.
Forever. We're not going to come back. This isn't like, oh, we miss it. What will I do with all my free time and lack of stress?
Oh, yeah, no.
Need to constantly be funny and think of things to talk about.
I mean, I still have the need to constantly be funny. That
I know, but
away.
it won't. It's not. The need is there, but the like requirement to do it, won't be as much unless I'm in public.
The gun and pony show won't be necessary.
I assume in real life I'll become more hilarious because I won't use all my great A material here.
Right, we're gonna see each other.
Give
we're gonna
everyone
laugh
the
so
F
hard.
material because I say the F word a bunch. The good one, not the bad one.
We're gonna see each other. We're gonna see each other again and finally hang out after not seeing each other in forever. We're gonna be so funny. We pee our pants and just puke.
And then we're gonna be like, wait, why did we stop doing?
Oh my god, what if we just? We get so drunk. We're like, what if we just did like one episode?
I could see like doing like a live stream thing.
Yeah.
Once in a very blue moon. I never know how often moons are blue.
Right, but when it is.
But yeah, I think it would still be fun to do and not have it be just like talking, like listen to music or something fun and dumb. Like I said, we have things that we're planning to do.
Right, like we have stuff where like we're not.
This just takes up so much time that we can't do the other things that we're more interested in doing because they're new and exciting because we constantly have to do this.
Yeah.
And
so like we just don't, so like we appreciate everybody supporting the podcast, loving the podcast, but like if you like this, there's going to be some more interesting things coming in the future.
Yeah, we're working on stuff and hopefully that will be like better and
we're just branching out. We're just growing up. Yeah. We decided the podcast was fun.
We're sick of this.
We're growing up. We're doing different things now.
Yeah, we're grown men. We're sick of talking about our dicks.
We're gonna
you know how much I talk about my dick off the podcast? Quite a bit.
Quite a lot.
It's not as much as I used to.
Some might say that there's no difference between the personality on the show I have and who I am in real life.
And I would say, you've never seen me in a depressive episode during the main week.
And I'm going to say, you've never seen me having a panic attack in the shower.
You've never seen me driving through mountains or in a complicated drive-through.
You've never seen me after a long day at work where I can't breathe because my back hurts so bad and I'm in the car not even playing music because I am so angry and focused and I'm just driving home, leaning back, massaging the muscles on my head because just having my jaw clenched.
You had a couple of things pop out of the back of your neck.
Yeah,
You're so
that
angry.
sucks. I hate that.
Yeah, so
start rubbing them out. You're like, is there weird bits?
That's how you do it. You rub one out in the car. You're like, my back feels great.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Everybody
driving with your dick like Tommy Lee in that honeymoon video with Pamela Anderson.
Pulling through the beef Farouk. Can I get a Wild West's burger and a medium fry, please?
Do you eat meat when you're jerking off? Is that your one?
That's
your one treat.
That's my.
I only eat it if I'm jerking off.
That's the loophole.
Jerking off.
I'm constantly jerking off and eating an Arby's big beef and cheddar at the same time.
I'm like, this pizza has sausage on it. Do you want me to like pick it up?
I'm like, yeah, I got a sausage.
It'll be fun. God damn it! Why? Now I don't want to eat the pizza with you. You really ruined everything.
Yeah, and I've ruined pizza. You don't want to eat pizza with me?
Yeah, and you know how hard it is to ruin pizza?
It is hard to ruin
Possibly like
pizza.
the best food just out of accessibility.
I remembered the other day, I don't even know who I was talking to, but we were talking about like really hot sauces, you know, where you have to like take like a toothpick and like stir it into your chili, and they're like, even that might be a bit too much. And I remembered another story about my dad. He was at some union hall meeting because he was like, I hate doing it, but they always feed us really good, so I like going and getting the free food. And they had so it was like pizza night, and there was this guy that was there, and they just hated him. I don't know why they hated him, but it's like one of those things where he's like, why did you hate him? Well, you know, he was an asshole. Well, why was he an asshole? Well, you know, he was just always,
we hated him.
he was just always walking around being an
Like
asshole
you?
to everybody. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, wow, this guy sucks.
Yeah, I can't imagine being that guy.
I can't imagine just hating someone and thinking they're an asshole, just walking around being an asshole. And so they had like some guy like had just got back from like working a job down in Texas, and he had like a bottle of that crazy like toothpick hot sauce. And so they lifted up the guy's pizza and like poured half the bottle onto his slice. And while he like went to go take a leak or something, and so he like came back, and of course he like took a bite and like obviously started like having a freak out, like he's like chugging everything and like screaming and crying, and everybody's like, oh. Guy probably had to like go to the hospital and get like some type of medical procedure done so he didn't have his stomach lining burned through.
And then he shot up the place the following week.
Probably, yeah.
That's how you make crazy people.
Did I ever tell you the story about how my dad almost got killed at work by a guy because he wouldn't stop fucking with him?
I thought you were going to say, have I ever told you the story about how my dad shut up his workplace? Got away with it.
Got away with it somehow. Yeah, we're past the statute of limitations, right? We can talk about
Yeah,
it.
you're always past the statute of limitations for a violent workplace
Shooting.
massacre.
For a violent workplace shooting. But no, it was this guy he worked with who was a Vietnam veteran with severe PTSD. Apparently the guy like drank like a fish and would take Copenhagen whiskey blend and
Put it in his whiskey.
he would take the tin and make it like pop into a shovel, scoop it, and line his whole jaw with the whole can.
I can't wait for this to be my future.
And then swallow the juice. He wouldn't even spit it out. He would just swallow the juice all day. Yeah, guy was a maniac, apparently. And so he decided that was the guy he was going to fuck with at work. And so the guy had, like, what he called, of course, lovingly, one of Danny's little freakouts. Which
I feel like I have heard this story. It just clicked when you said the name.
Yeah.
I remember exactly where we heard this story. But do tell.
And so he decides he's gonna and he's like, I'm leaving for the day, fuck you guys, blah blah blah. And so he goes to leave. My dad runs around to the other side of his door and holds the door because he's like, this is gonna be funny, watch this. And so he's like, so it's like a push door, and so he's like holding up against it. So of course Danny walks up and he and he shoves it again, and then he goes like, boom, and he felt the door like shake, and my dad was like, and then he moved out of the way. Danny kicks the door off of the frame. The door just and he just steps out. He's got like a mason jar in his hand of like whatever he was drinking that day, and he like sees some guy next to a trailer, and he points at him and whips it at the guy's head, shatters the mason jar on the guy's head, and the guy just falls face down. And my dad's like hiding behind something, like watching this whole time.
This is the type of craziest shenanigans I like to get into.
I
And then they immediately escalate too far, and you're like, oh my god, I can never undo what I've done.
Yeah, he said he was
killed
like
the
hiding
man.
behind a thing. And he's like, oh my god, I think I pushed Danny too far today. He's like, I was like up high and hiding behind something because he saw me, and he went like, and like what? Yeah, that like, oh no,
He's gonna fucking kill me. Yeah, you know how on edge you have to be?
You know how on edge you have to be to break a mason jar on some guy's head?
I mean, yeah, everybody's on edge. Your dad's on edge. Danny's on edge.
It must have been a rough job of a bunch of older white men sitting on their asses not doing anything.
But playing pranks on each other. Pranks that you could
Is that
never
really
take
a prank?
back.
Is that a prank, really?
Yeah, holding the door closed.
But to
That's
that
a great
extent,
airplane.
to a point where a guy probably got a concussion from
Well,
a
I
mason
mean, you
jar?
don't. That's the problem with pranks, and that's what I mean. When you do a fun thing and you're like, "This will be great," and then you're like, "Oh no, it's gone."
It's gone
and like
way
that
too far.
feeling-
Yeah.
We've talked about that feeling you get when you're like Oh, I never thought it could go like this. This isn't how I planned it in my head.
I know, and that's how my dad told him, but without admitting fault in any way.
Yeah.
He's just kind of like, oh, things got a little out of hand there. And
That's
it's
what
like,
it looks
gee, you think they got a little out of hand?
That's how I always feel when fire's involved.
Yeah, because, well, I mean, I don't want to talk about recent experiences
Yeah.
with us and fire getting out of hand or anything.
That's what I mean. It's like because you're just so excited and you do crazy shit.
You don't always
And
have
then
the top of a
fire-
grill to stop the fire either.
Fire spreads very quickly. and
So
you don't,
quickly
like,
when it's covered
think about
with
that.
gasoline.
Even when it's not. I've done a lot of like throwing matches and like I threw matches and leaves in the gutter the one time and then the flames were shooting.
Can I
out.
just say, once again, it was ridiculous that we had to use that much gasoline to finally get like a big roaring fire going with
Yeah.
that, you know? Like, I'm never going to get over that it took till the very last of the end of the gasoline.
And then I hate that when you like get something going and it's like, and it's time to put it out.
Yeah, and it's like it just started going
Do it
like
for
big
it.
and
It was
crazy.
a fun time.
That was a great time. That was a
I think
wonderful
had
day.
we not been drinking so much and really
Oh
thought things
yeah, because
through,
we're just gonna
and
play
it
with
wasn't
fire sober.
dark, drunk, and just throwing gas, I think we could have been more efficient.
I mean, I'm not gonna disagree with you, but
I mean, you're not wrong.
I think the science is there, but I don't like hearing it. You know, it's
yeah,
like
I don't want to
it's
be.
like we were talking about like hotel sheets and stuff. Like I don't want to hear it.
I don't want to be the bearer of responsibility, but we could have done things. I didn't know it was
Listen,
gonna be.
It was your birthday. I wanted you to have a good time.
I had a great
wanted,
time.
I
I think
wanted
it was
to see
better than-
Daddy throw gasoline recklessly for his birthday.
I mean, yeah, it's better than blowing out.
I'm
the
just
candles.
sobbing. I'm like, I wanted to see my daddy throw gasoline recklessly on his birthday like a
do it all
madman.
the time. Let's go back there now. It's cold. We can be warmed up.
Oh my god,
Don't ask
now's
for
the
permission.
perfect time to do it.
It is, yeah. It's like that's the only I hate bonfires 75% of the time because they're always like
It's so
wrong.
hot.
Yeah, it's like let's do it in the summer, which is stupid. Or it's like let's do it when it's really cold and you're like the fire's not enough. It's like there's a very small window, a sweet spot.
Where it's like 45 degrees outside where you
Yeah.
can have a fire and it's nice.
Yeah, like something like that. I just really dislike smelling like campfire. I feel like I've said it, but like the older I get, the more I can't deal with it. And I think it's because I'm always so drunk at the campfire that then the smell when I wake up is just like makes me feel like, it's like when you
permeating, yeah.
smell an old beer the next day, like when you're picking them up and you get a whiff and you're like, oh, I'm gonna Ralph
You're
boys.
like, I put this in my body.
Yeah, it just smells, or like all the cigarettes. There's like cigarettes, old beer, and then campfire.
Or
all have the same thing to me.
Or the beautiful cigarette butts in an old beer that somebody was doing. And then
yeah.
while you
And I know
smell the
who it
campfire,
was, and you're like,
while
"We
you
have
smell
an
the campfire
ashtray."
in your hair,
Yeah, and you're like, we were by a campfire. Why would you even put butts?
why
in the
wouldn't
beer?
you just burn the
throw
butt?
everything?
And your
Burn
dumbass
the
friend,
butt.
and your dumbass friend is like, the butts don't burn because they're made out of like a fiber.
Oh yeah,
Butts burn, motherfucker. I've seen it.
I'll make your butt.
I've
burn.
seen so many
your
goddamn drunk.
ass
I've
in
seen
the
so many
fire.
drunk white girls smoke the wrong end of a cigarette. I know
Oh
that
my
butts
God.
burn.
I've seen so many times cold.
Smoked the wrong end of a cigarette, and then he's
I've
like,
only-
"Oh yeah,"
I
and he
always,
just flips it around.
I always think of 2 times in my life that's happened, and there's been like way more. And once I was with my ex driving behind Chuck E. Cheese on that road.
Traditionally,
And I had never experienced it in my life. I'd never done it. I'd never seen it. Never even like thought about it. And I was very drunk and I pulled out a cigarette. I lit it and it just burst into flames. And then it went away and I was like, this one's fucking weird. And I was like, doesn't it smell horrible in here? And then, yeah, eventually she was like, you're smoking the butt of the cigarette. And I was like, oh no.
how'd that feel going in?
Nothing like came out. Like I wasn't
Yeah.
sucking hard enough. I don't know.
Yeah, you
And I
gotta
was
really
also
suck on a
very
filter. You gotta
drunk.
be sucking the tobacco out of the paper to be getting any filter smoke.
And then the other time was when one of the times we were in Minnesota and me and Cole wanted to go to Taco Bell and somehow it got fucked up and there was a Taco Bell like down the road and we went to one very far away and then there was so much construction and we like couldn't get out of it. You remember that?
Yes.
Matt was driving, me and Cole were in the back.
Yeah, do I
And I
remember
felt
that?
so bad because it just kept taking longer and I thought Matt was going to like start to get really, really, really angry.
Yeah, I remember.
And
I vividly remember because I also felt that way. Because
Yeah.
I was riding shotgun.
Yeah.
And he's doing that thing where like you can tell don't do what the dapper dads do, kids. You can tell we're all we shouldn't be doing, and like the driver is focusing too much, and you're like, oh, they're mad, they're focusing, and
then when you're the person that caused it, like something got confusing, and I don't remember what it was, but then I was sitting in the back with Cole, and I pulled out a cigarette because I was stressed out. He pulled out a cigarette, and then out of the corner of my eye, I just seen a burst of flames. And then he's holding it and the lighter, and he just looks at me with that face like, what the fuck just happened? And we were both like, whoa. And then it didn't click. I don't know what he ended up doing with it. I think he probably figured it out. And then the next day I was like, that was because you lit the butt. And he was like, just could not process
comprehend that his drunk dumbass lit the wrong end of a cigarette.
It was just like, I'm stressed out thinking Matt's going to be all pissed. I'm like, do I eat the Taco Bell now, or is that even more disrespectful? And then Cole's just like on fire a little bit. I'm like, this car has to get back to the hotel staff.
At least back to the hotel.
At least close to University Ave. Then I know.
So then we can
approximately. It goes real far. So
if we can just get it on University Avenue, we can get an Uber. We can get those electric scooters and just ride up and down University till we find it.
Eating Taco Bell, smoking the backwards cigarette on a scooter, screaming, eating shit,
screaming, East St. Laurent book bag on the wall,
flawlessly
over the handlebars
right at the end.
Back you been.
I regret that we never really took advantage of the electric scooters.
Oh, we'll get there.
I think they're done now.
In like 3 years, we can go back out in public.
Well, then we'll be flying cars by that time.
Hopefully. There better be. I'm just longboarding around. Hey guys, I'm not going to be like you suckers and pay for an electric scooter. I brought my board.
Yeah, and we're just like gone in a second.
You guys are gone in a second. I'm like,
you show up to the show after whatever.
I'm like, guys, I got so ripped on the way.
We're so hammered. And trying to find tacos, tearing down posters, and stealing chess pieces.
Good life.
Remember when you could do things?
Remember when you could do things like have your buddy stuff a giant poster down the front of his pants?
Mm-hmm. A lot of poster-related shenanigans. Interesting.
Well, posters are nice.
Sometimes you need time to reflect on what you've done with your life.
Yeah.
Realize that they're all weirdly specific.
But you would go back and do a lot of the exact same goddamn things given the opportunity.
I mean, what else is there to do?
You tell me right now, given the opportunity, we wouldn't be driving around Minneapolis, going to all the breweries that we go to, maybe playing some mini-putt.
I would be doing
causing
everything.
Shenanigans.
Of course. That's what we do everything every year. It's like Pinky and the Brain, but then it's if the brain died and Pinky was.
And Pinky's just like
I've tried to, because people don't like when you say the word retarded for some reason.
And you said it so loud in the mic.
You know, retarded.
Yeah.
And don't look at it. It's a secret. Don't make me put porn up so you get rid of that. Get rid of that boner you have. Snot came out of my nose.
Boner
Folks,
from
it's
watching
going
the
great.
Spike.
Don't worry, there's 10 more of this.
10 more quality episodes just like this.
We're going to try to do better, but I don't think it's happening. What was I going to say? Fuck. Shouldn't have trailed so far off.
I shouldn't have got so honest.
What was I just going to say? I have another thing I'm waiting to say. A topic.
Minneapolis, tacos, longboarding. Things we should be doing right now.
Fuck, I was just saying something. Sometimes I like hate it so bad that I want to
someone's
stop the
listening
podcast
someone's listening and they're
jump
like
back
what
and be
the
like,
fuck?
oh yeah, I just thought of it. Fuck, what was it? There was something. God damn it, man. Pinky and the Brain. I feel like it was there.
But Pinky died.
The word retarded. How could I forget?
Oh, how could you?
So you know my great disdain for the show Big Bang Theory.
As is mine. Yes.
Yeah, it's probably the thing I hate the most in the world. I used to say MASH, but honestly,
Big Bang's worse.
I think Big Bang has
I'll watch every episode of MASH before I watch a single episode of The Big Bang Theory.
And I was behind a car when I was driving recently that had a Bazinga bumper sticker.
I just
put a Bazinga bumper sticker
on your car. On your car. Your car's covered in
our cars are
Bazinga.
People pull up, they're like, Sheldon.
They're like, hey,
Young
Sheldon.
Whatever the fuck that is.
About him as a stupid, mean baby. Smart baby.
Oh, it's my life story.
A kid that just needs to be punched in the face constantly for being like, you're sitting in my seat.
What an
awful thing.
Terrible show.
3/4 of the drive here, I was stuck behind a car with a bumper sticker that says, if you're not right with God, get left.
Okay. I like it. I like when they're at least thought out a little bit. But yeah, I was like, that show sucks so much. And like the Bazinga thing is crazy to me. Like people purchase paraphernalia with that
Like,
on it
because,
to
like,
display
because, like,
it to the world.
And like, I'm not like, we buy merch. Like, we're both wearing like merch right now, but it's like you
Yeah,
buy
from,
merch
like,
being
cool
like,
things.
yeah, you buy
Not the
merch being like,
worst
this
show.
represents a piece of like who
Yeah.
I am. Like, this is what I
So
like.
the word Bazinga,
The show, first of all, you're gonna say part of your identity is the Big Bang Theory.
I know.
To the point
fucked
where
up.
a specific character's catchphrase is part. Like, you never
and
like.
what does the word entail? Like a kerfuffle or like a excitement? I don't know what it's
like
for.
a witty rebuttal, like Bazinga.
Okay, yeah, I like never knew even what the word.
I don't
actually
know. I've been
encompasses.
forced
I've always
to
assumed
watch
it's one
this
of
show
those things.
before, and
I've
it's a
seen
nightmare.
it, yeah, and that's how I know it's bad.
Yeah, we don't just hate things blindly, folks. We invest time and money into the things that we
Yeah,
hate.
I've spent a lot of money researching.
I
how the
I
Big
bought
Bang
so
Theory
many.
sucks.
I think
About
part of
seasons
it,
1 through
part of
12?
my personal vendetta from the Big Bang Theory comes from the fact that my very first serious girlfriend that I lived with loved that show, and the first. Oh yeah, it was on season 1 was on. She had it on DVD.
I got
That was
chills.
like, yeah, she had season 1 on DVD, and that's like one of the only DVDs she owned, and so it was just on constantly when I would go over. Yeah, just think about it. And then, so I thought I was gonna be a nice guy, and it was like Black Friday at work when we worked at Walmart. It was like my first year there, and it was my second or third.
Publicly bought Big Bang
I
Theory.
bought like seasons 2 through 4 for her because I was like,
my
I'm gonna be a nice guy. And then she dumped me that night when I got home, and I was like, well, I bought you.
Oh my god! Oh, I've never heard this story.
Really? Well, I mean, we've never really talked about Big Bang Theory.
I feel like I've yelled about it a lot.
But I mean, like,
The things I yell about, it's one of the top 10.
because this is what I remember. I remember I bought them, and I was like, oh, I'm such a good boyfriend. I hate this show, and I bitch about it all the time, and having to watch this. So now she can watch the new ones, and I can bitch about the new ones. And then
It's kind of our thing.
it's kind of her thing. I yell all the time, and she's miserable.
And the Big Bang Theory.
And the Big Bang
The
Theory.
trifecta.
A relationship should be 50-50. I yell all the time, and she's miserable watching the Big Bang Theory over and over again.
The perfect relationship. Don't we all want to grow old in that exact way until the man has a heart attack and the woman can finally watch Big Bang Theory without
In
someone
peace?
yelling about it?
There was an old man my sister worked with at the museum in Belvedere, and he said that he, in a small, not sick way, couldn't wait for his wife to die because then he could bring the Cadillac out of the garage and finally eat burnt Spam sandwiches again.
I mean, yeah, let the bitch go.
Just get a divorce already. Like,
I mean, that's one of those. That's how I feel. We're over at www.patreon.com/dapperdadads. We did none of the actual promo. We just talked about how we're done. I forget. I know I'm pointing a lot, but it's only because I can.
if you're hopping in on episode 1, whatever,
Yeah, the 67 or
it's
something.
your fault.
But
no, and so like I remember I went to go pick her up from work because I had bought the DVDs, and then like I'm driving to go get her, and then like I see her and I'm like, oh, she's gonna love these, and then I'm like got them in the bag, and then you like it's one of those things where like you like I picked her up and I could tell something was wrong already, you know, like she'd been like you could tell she'd been thinking about something all day, and we get home and then it just obviously, and then like we get home and it blows up into a fight, and then it lasts for this is my first like major breakup, so it lasted for like hours, and then I was like, well, I got you these DVDs, you can just have them, I guess.
did she take them?
She could. Well, she tried to be like, "Oh no, you can return them. You're gonna need the money." And I'm like, "You fucking bitch, just take the fucking movies I bought you. You goddamn whore. You're gonna need them when you're living in your parents' basement again.
You're gonna need them when you're with a much better man who humors your shitty taste in TV." But yeah, so my whole thing was, I saw this bumper sticker. I got real caught up on the Bazinga thing, and I'm like, that's what I've started to say instead of retarded, since people dislike it.
But
Bazinga.
I feel like saying Bazinga all the time makes you kind of retarded.
But I think I'm taking it. I'm switching the power of the word.
Okay.
Because I don't think I'm using it like the nerd would use it.
Okay.
I'm like, that's Bazinga.
I feel like this is such a very fine line conversation depending on the word. Because you could be anybody reclaiming any word you want to.
Yeah, I know, but it's not like...
As a white guy, I'm
big
going to use
deal.
see, if I use the N-word when I'm singing, it's fine because it's the lyrics.
Yeah,
And like,
so you agree that...
So like
you
21
agree-
Savage is like
you
playing a
agree
character.
that Big
so,
Bang
like,
Theory is as bad, if not worse, than the N-word.
I will die on that hill. I will live on that hill, put a flag on that hill, build my house on that hill, fuck my wife and make my babies on that hill.
Yeah, there's a whole lot to be done on that hill, that very explicit hill.
Explicit cum-covered hill.
But yeah, so
Slippery.
I'm saying
Grass is always
Bazinga
wet.
or Bazinga
This,
as
yeah,
the other word.
Yeah, real Bazinga lives over there.
Yeah, see, it's fun. If you start peppering it in, it's kind of fun. And
Yeah.
I'm changing it. I'm throwing it out there. If
You're
you guys
being really Bazinga'd over there.
if you guys are like people I know who really dislike when you say that other word, you can simply replace it with Bazinga. Make them want the R word.
Make
back.
them beg for the R word because you won't stop saying
Make them
Bazinga.
be like, please stop. Say retard. Please, anything.
You fucking retard. Just say retard, please.
I'm like,
Bazinga.
yeah. See, if you just say it like that, that feels like what the show is.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't watch a lot, but I'm sure that exact
That's
exchange
exactly how he
happened
says
in the
it.
show.
Yeah. Stop being retarded.
The hot
you retard.
neighbor.
Bazinga.
The hot neighbor.
Cali Cuco or whatever.
Yeah, Cali Cucos.
Cali Cucos
Cali
with
Cuco-
her big old
Cucamonga.
Cucos. Cali and her
Yeah.
big old Cucamonga.
That was why I watched that first, because I'm like, I
Same.
could look at this.
Because like she's watching it
and
I
the guy from Roseanne, the kid.
Oh yeah, the kid
David
that grew up.
from
Yeah.
Roseanne.
Roseanne.
I watched Roseanne. Everything was slightly different.
Okay, you know how we were talking about Chills earlier and like how shitty his voice is? I for some reason
YouTube.com/chills.
No, we're not promoting him.
All right, so take it back.
I was for some reason I was really interested in prison food earlier this week. Cause like I was just like,
Think of all the time you'll have to look into all your stuff with no outlet to say
I
it.
know.
We're gonna see each other like once every 2 months, and you're gonna be overwhelming.
Yeah,
like
I'm
I
gonna
was
be
looking
way
into
too much.
prison food and Chills and Bazinga.
and
We just
Bazinga.
both have lists of topics that we would have talked about on the podcast, and we try to work them into casual conversation, but it doesn't make sense.
And then we just end up doing the podcasting. But no, I found this one where it was like, you know, prison food from 10 different countries or whatever. And I started watching it and I could not pinpoint the guy's accent at all to the point where I had to show it to my girl. And I'm like, what accent?
What is this man doing?
It's like every word he was saying, it was English, but like he was putting such weird inflection on things. He was calling them like potatoes
Oh my god! And this is such a weird
and radishes.
that
And in some prisons, you have meals of potatoes with radishes.
I feel like I watch so many popular YouTube channels, and the people have very weird things like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is that part of the thing that people are like, I have to watch this longer to figure out what the fuck is wrong with you? And then eventually you just, because the chill shit is ridiculous.
Because like, yeah, the first, I had never even heard of him until we were over here that one day. I stayed here and we like watched the videos at night. And I was like, what, is this how they all are? And you're
Yeah.
like, no, just this guy fucking sucks.
Yeah, because I had found it from, like looking up crazy shit. And yeah, at first you're like, what is going on? Why is he doing this? And then, yeah, you realize there's like hundreds of videos. And then he had the one video that was like, this is why I talk like this. But yeah, I feel like there's something to it. Like people are so interested that they watch the video more. Because I come across many videos that have like,
they
a
just
lot of
speak
subscribers
strangely. Yeah.
Yeah, especially like the creepy video or horror shit. I'm like, all these people talk like
You ever watch
monsters.
that slapped ham guy? He's like from New Zealand
I think
or
I have,
something.
yeah.
So like everything's like, and then we see in the woods a strange Bigfoot-like creature.
I'm not even talking about just accents, because yeah, I feel like.
But like he
chills
really
thing-
leans
yeah,
in like a
it's
crocodile
over
Dundee
the
almost.
top,
I feel
yeah.
like. Because you can just sit there and it's like the difference between like hearing like a British accent and then when someone's like, "Oi, Gavna, you like
Yeah,
a little
I know.
sport of your Gavna?"
I have to believe that this doesn't actually happen.
Right, because like you're
anymore.
watching one video and they're like, "Here's 12 ghost videos to entertain you today," and
Yeah.
then you watch one where like 12 ghosts, it'll knock your knickers off.
Yeah, because that's like my thing. Like it's been established that I dislike some accents, and it's what I mean to say is like that. Because what did I have you watch recently? And you were like, I knew when I started. The Love on the Spectrum, the best show ever. And you were like, I knew as soon as they were British that if you really sat through it, you must have loved it.
Yeah.
But you're like, yeah, if you're like not, it's not crazy.
If you're not like being
it's
like,
not that
if,
bad.
if you're not
the
making a
thing is
caricature
good
of it,
enough,
you know.
I will sit through most of the accents, but yeah, if the product is good enough and the voice isn't like over the top, then it's fine. Or like music, like I like a lot of bands with like from the UK that have accents, But then it's like the really like, annoying grating ones are just crazy shit where you're like, I don't think you sound like this.
Right.
You're doing, like a caricature. You're like an American.
Like,
being
I'm
like,
sure,
this is what I think British
I'm sure
people are.
Skepta sounds like that, but it doesn't mean I want to keep listening to it.
Right. And and some people just sound like that. And I'm sorry. Like I get so many people talk to me about that accent thing. And I'm like, I'm not like any person that doesn't sound just like me should die. But there's some things where it's like, I can't enjoy this because you sound crazy.
Like, it's just
and that's
so
fine
distracting.
That you sound like that. I just can't like, or like Corday, YBN Corday, the
Yeah.
lisp. I can't get past the lisp. I like the music, but like, it just drives me crazy. That's not his fault. That's kind of shitty for me to be like, but I just can't separate.
Like, right.
You know what I
just
mean?
keep hearing
I can't
it,
enjoy it. It's like when someone points out something you do all the time and then you're like, or someone tells you how you're breathing. Like you're breathing,
that's the
and then
worst
you're
thing
like,
in the entire world.
and then you start to hyperventilate, or people tell you that you're blinking, and then you can't
Who
stop
tells you that
thinking
you're
about it.
blinking?
Everybody.
I'll
I'll just be walking down the street, and they're like, nice blinking on you.
I remember my dad would be like, stop breathing so heavily. And I'd be like,
I get that too.
and I'm
Or like,
You're trying to take little shallow breaths,
Yeah.
and then you're starting to hallucinate
I've
because you're not
seen
getting enough oxygen.
I've seen it referenced, I think, on Twitter or something, when you're like cuddling with someone and you try to match their breath, and then you start to like lose your mind. And you're like, how are you breathing like this?
Yes. Oh my god.
You're
I'm like, are your lungs like a third of the size? I
Yeah.
mean, like, I know I'm a big man,
And you
but,
like match it, and then you're like, am I fucked up? Am I
Like,
taking
are
these
my
big
lungs
breaths?
wrong?
Are they just like, yeah, I love him enough to deal with his huge breaths
gigantic
behind me
lungs all the
and
time?
his hard boner in my lower back,
Yeah, God, yeah, his tiny little hard pecker feeling like a
so high up on
feeling
my,
like a thimble in a blanket just poking me in the small of
you
my
can't
butt
feel
crack.
a blanket in the back.
I mean, you feel a thimble in the blanket, just like a little nub just pushing on your butt crack.
But yeah, trying to match someone's breathing will like, those are the things I think breathing, and if I think of or someone points out my breathing.
Matching someone's
Or-
breathing for me has always been crazy just because I am so big that
Yeah.
like I feel like I've also intentionally fucked with people sometimes and like like I'll be laying there and I'll catch someone trying to do that, you know, and then like I will purposefully then just be like,
Yeah, take big, irrational, irregular breaths. And then like a little one. And then like a big one. Yeah, and you're like this. And then they're like, oh, he's going to die. Or like, I hate it. Like,
is he
back in the
blowing out
day,
soup or is he breathing?
back in the day when you like put your arm around a lady or something for the first time, you know, when that would happen.
And
then you're like trying to, not even, or just sitting on the couch next to someone. I feel like I get it sometimes still if I'm sitting on the couch next to like someone I really don't know. But it would specifically be like if I'm like trying to hook up with this girl or something, and I'm like sitting next to them on the couch, and I feel like my breathing is the most irrational it could be, and I'm always
Right.
like, I hope they don't hear it, but they probably do.
But then you're thinking like, is
I'm
this
just
how I
like-
breathe all the time?
And
Am
that's what
just
I
like,
mean.
Am I just sitting there shitting, scrolling through my phone, being like,
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. It's these are the things people point out. It's like breathing and blinking, where then I like fixate on it, and then I'm like,
I really like to think that when I'm not paying attention to my breathing, yeah, I'm just like sitting around going,
none of it. We're all just like, yeah, he's a big guy. It's fine. You ask for a cigarette.
You know
I'm
how like you hear your voice in a voicemail, and you're like, that's what I sound like.
Yeah.
You're breathing on a tape recording. You're just like,
yeah, it's like really bad. Or even just like if it's a little heavy. I can't breathe through my nose, so I'm like a
yeah,
mouth breather.
I know. Then you
like-
hate being because then you're like mouth breather.
Yeah, and my dad would always like make fun of people who were mouth breathers and had their mouth gaping open all the time, quote unquote.
Yeah, same. Mine too.
And-
What's up with that?
I don't know, they're the same.
Why are they
person.
just walking around a bunch of people?
Yeah.
But why are they in
then-
such crowds of people where there's so many dudes just be like,
I know, but then I feel like I do the same thing. Like my mouth isn't gaping open, but
Right.
my mouth is traditionally like hangs
Like,
open
just like a
because I
little-
can't breathe through my nose. Yeah, it's just
like a
open.
little like it's
And
not
so
like I'm
then-
sitting there
Yeah.
just taking in air. Like yeah, I'm not just like.
Like, is he dead? He's like, no,
Big.
he needs more air. He wants to feel real.
You know how you like sun your butthole for 15 minutes?
Yeah.
a day? So you just gotta lay back with your mouth open to really get all the air in there.
Yeah, he's trying to get it all in one go instead of breathing
He
for an
takes
hour.
one big breath an hour and then just walks around doing it.
Yeah, for a full 3 minutes, he takes one large
inhale,
breath,
and then
he
holds
lets it
it.
out. You shouldn't be around when that happens. Other stuff won't
It
be.
stinks so bad.
Blew all the leaves off of my tree. It was fucked up. Tree died. Won't make new
Tree
leaves.
died, leaves fell off, branches burned. Now it's just a big core in the yard, just burnt. Big burnt piece of tree, and now my wife's dead.
She wasn't even outside.
She was hanging herself on the tree when he was breathing on it.
So perfect suicide.
When she kicked the chair out as soon as he breathed, and she just got obliterated into a fine pink mist.
I like to think it's what she would have wanted, but it clearly wasn't. She had other plans. Well executed.
I would have said it's what
her suicide note said, "I'm so excited to hang
Her
myself."
suicide note said, "I am so happy to be going to hell, but now she has to go to heaven because she was murdered." You fucked my wife forever, dude.
Like, whoa, I never met her.
Whoa, fucked her forever. Hardly knew her.
Hardly killed her.
Fucked her forever. I didn't even see her when I was breathing in that direction.
So essentially, you're a dragon.
Yes, if you're breathing for 3 minutes a day, yeah, you're a dragon.
No, 3 minutes an hour. Yeah, could you imagine it's like when I remember when I worked.
Is it because it's so hot or the ferocity at which it's pushed
both.
out?
It's everything.
Such a hot, stinky breath with so much ferocity?
Yeah. I remember when I worked at the call center, there's like a smoking deck thing, and there was a man who would light a cigarette, put his hands in his pocket, and just smoke that motherfucker. And it felt like it was just like basically one long inhale. Like smoke would puff out of his mouth.
Like on that 70s show where they
going.
just had the cigarette drag all the way down that one time?
Or have you ever listen, I'm going to guess you haven't, because I'm about to say something that feels probably crazy.
Okay.
What is it to me? Put a cigarette in a fan on the one way so then it sucks the whole thing out. It's kind of like a science experiment.
I mean, I'd like to do it because I feel like it looks cool.
I mean, it's just a waste of a cigarette, and it's kind of like, once you do it, you're like, that makes sense. Have you ever smoked a Smarties wrapper? Because I did that in the same setting.
Never smoked.
Did you ever just light something on fire and try to smoke it as a kid? Just a weird thing?
Like not even like smoke it, but like
just like
smell.
Yeah.
Like I hate to say like huff, but like like light a piece of plastic and then like you're smelling the smoke because like I was sniffing some whiteout the other day because it specifically said
smells
like
good
because
you forget
takes
you back to a special time.
And then it specifically was like using a well ventilated area. Which
is
sniff,
crazy.
And
Am I supposed
like,
to take my papers out to like a wind turbine?
Yeah, like do I take my papers outside and let them fly around covered and just wipe paper jet?
Someone tries to grab it for you and they're like, whiteout? What the
whiteout? Oh, you're not supposed to breathe this in. You're definitely not supposed to touch it. Starts melting your hand. You're like, holy shit.
That's some strong whiteout.
No wonder you gotta let that shit dry.
Yeah, I love that. And that's the problem with warnings sometimes. I get it. Especially like I think kids use that product sometimes. But if we say like whiteout needs to be well ventilated, then when I break out the fucking like primer, I'm like, everything says it needs to be well ventilated.
Oh, they say primer, then paint.
Yeah, I'm in my garage with a can of lacquer,
bleach,
and I'm just like,
you're just
geeky.
Flying out. Yeah.
What's going on?
Like
lacquer and everything.
Like that episode of King of the Hill where we lacquered the grandfather
clock. It's exactly like that. I lacquered the beer dart boards.
Yeah, I remember you told me about that. And that's all I could
like,
think about was Hank having that vision with the whack-a-mole.
What's going on in here? Is the garage getting smaller?
Is the garage getting smaller or the walls just breathing? The walls have ears.
Not everything needs to be well ventilated in the same thing. Like these markers say well ventilated.
But like that's not the same.
Like, there's different levels to well ventilated. I'm either
think,
using markers and like, this smells kind of nice. I bet you could really
go
huff
out
this
on a
and
limb.
die. Or I'm in my garage with lacquer figuring out the meaning of the universe.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and I'm going to say the necessity of the need to, what's the word I'm looking for? Ventilate should be determined by how big the warning is on the side of the can. Because if it's just a tiny little print that says like using well ventilated, I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm probably gonna huff.
Or like
this later.
I think we can go like you can go maybe little ventilated, well ventilated, super ventilated,
but
like
then
something to be like ventilate the fuck.
I feel like we need a universal picture that's like, you know how like when you go to a park and it's got like the like guy with the sticks and the dog and the bike, and it'll show you like what you can do and what you can't do, like that, but with ventilation.
Need more of that with everything.
We need like 6 things that you can do with ventilation, like be in a room with doors and windows open, closed garage.
The first room's just like a prison cell. No doors, no windows.
I don't know how I'm telling you right now, if I have to go to prison, I'm gonna start huffing things. Like I'm just gonna learn how to huff things in prison. I'm gonna make Jinkum and just start huffing.
You buy whiteout and they're like, no, you have to go to prison to use it because it doesn't. I'm
not gonna lie, man. I went to go get the stuff out of the dungeon and I saw the computer duster down there. I took a little hit and then just was like, what the fuck?
That shit. Oh my god.
Yeah, that'll ruin your life.
It's like, I've been in rooms where it's used. I'm not huffing them. It's used to such an extent that it gets in your mouth
And you want to
you can't get it out.
You
and
want
they're
to
like,
die.
yeah, they put it in there because people huff it. And I'm like, but people still huff it, which is crazy.
See that
we should
video?
make that legal.
Yeah.
If you're going to go through that, like a lot of drugs, I think have a good
You know what? And if
payoff.
I'm going to be, call it a crazy cum-covered hill to die on, but if you're going to huff so much duster that you die, you kind of had it coming.
Yeah, and it's fine.
Because if you're that's a true libertarian right there. I feel like we should have all you can
I
huff
don't give
duster
a fuck
buffets.
if you die from huffing duster. We probably weren't close.
Exactly. 'Cause
probably
I
haven't
don't
seen you
hang out
since
with
middle
losers
school.
that huff duster.
Yeah, because it tastes bad, and that's what I mean. If you're gonna
So,
fight
but what if
through-
it tasted
if you're
good?
Then I'd say maybe we need better regulation. Because if it tastes good, I'm probably huffing duster.
I was going to say, let's
now.
all huff a little duster.
But it just gets in your fucking body, and you can't get it out. So if you're gonna fight through that, and
Like, if
you're
you're
able
able-
to do it till you
like,
die, then congratulations.
Because like you
I'm
see,
proud of
because like
you.
did you ever see
I'm
that My
probably
Strange
clearly
Addiction
the
where the
only
girl was doing it?
person- Yeah.
And she's like 2 at a time, and she's
know.
just like sucking it in.
Yeah, and it used to not have. It has stuff in it to purposely be bad.
she's calling her sugar
antifreeze.
daddy.
Or no, I guess antifreeze is good. What's the
No,
thing that they-
antifreeze is bad, but it tastes sweet. That's why
Yeah,
you
that's
can't
what I meant.
let
The
your
opposite of
animals
that.
into the garage because they'll lick it up.
Oh, I gotta go.
Oh
I
God!
put all my animals in the garage and a bunch of loose antifreeze.
Oh God! I left my antifreeze out in a bunch of dog bowls, and I left the dog out in the garage.
The fuck was I gonna say? We just went through a lot with this ventilation.
And yeah, I feel like we need to ventilate the room.
Yeah, I do have some duster.
There's a lot of fumes going
I've
on
got
here.
the Glade plug-in
Taste
that just
dustery in here.
just psst, every once in a while.
But it's computer
It's
duster.
duster.
Ah,
And
yeah.
that's why I closed the door. You know I don't do that.
Get that bitter
Close the
taste that's
blind.
on the back of your tongue. You're just
Yeah, we start to really lose our mind.
like, let's go out to the
Does
garage.
duster even last long? Isn't it like a short little burst of high?
I mean,
Like,
there's only one way to find out.
all right, I think I have some downstairs.
We are not doing duster today.
Come on, the podcast is ending.
We'll do it on the last episode.
Okay. Yeah. Also, if anyone has some fun, crazy shit, not like crazy,
Not like
crazy.
69ing each other on the table or anything.
Yeah, let's do something new and original, guys.
Yeah, God. We only do that at the end of every episode if you guys would
Yeah.
watch all the way to the end.
It's gonna be weird in here. Are you able to pick me up? Do you think one of those upside?
Oh,
down
yeah, I could
ones?
definitely, as long as you like hook your knees right, I could absolutely do it.
I'll get to hooking. But
But then you got to work extra hard because I'm going to be using my arm muscles with blood.
every time with you, you're gonna have to work extra hard.
Oh,
When do I get to lay back?
Oh, I
and
already
enjoy
jerked
it?
off today. You're going to have to work extra hard. I got the easy one out. You're going to have to really work to get this guy. He's hiding in there.
I don't know if we've talked about this before, and I
We
feel
have.
like this could be a similar like ass wiping scenario.
Okay.
Do you wash your legs in the shower all the way down and feet?
I was thinking about this the other day. That's funny that you brought it
Nice.
up because I do, but not when I'm in a rush. So like
This is the answer I get the most.
So I feel like I take 2 kinds of showers. I take I got a rush shower, like I just need to spruce up really quick, or traditionally I'm running very late and I need to take a shower and I stink.
Makes a lot of sense.
Or it's like I've shaved my God, don't do that. Don't ever drink like that. Close your eyes when you're drinking if you're gonna drink like that. But because I'll enjoy if when I shave the sides of my head, take a nice hot shower and really just take time, shampoo, wash your face right, do everything, because I feel like I take a lot of those quick showers because I'm traditionally late for everything.
Right.
So when I can take the time, yeah, I'll wash my legs. I'll even scrub the bottoms of my feet and in between my toes and stuff. But if I'm just going quick, my quick shower routine is hop in, shampoo first, face, and then just get the quick stuff. Get your pits,
quick stuff.
Get your pits, your
Pits,
asshole,
dick, ass.
pits, dick, ass,
Yeah.
and then everything, and then just a rub on the
Yeah.
chest, and then let it wash down. You
Right.
know, because it's what, your legs are gonna. Have you ever thought somebody's stink was coming from just their legs?
I know.
Just the legs. You know,
I don't do it, and I
ever. You
Ever.
never scrub your legs or your feet.
I go down to what I can just reach standing up,
Okay.
like thighs, and then gravity in
I-
my mind does the rest.
Now, I will say when I was heavier, I never washed my legs. The concept of it never occurred to me because the idea of all the bending and
Yeah.
the squishing and stuff, it just wasn't fun,
Yeah.
But
See, mine's not even that. It just I'm just done.
I know I'm not saying it's that for you, but I'm saying that's just, it didn't
Yeah,
occur to
that
me
makes
to start
sense.
washing my legs until I lost a bunch of weight and like became more flexible because then I was like, oh yeah, I can just like kind of lift my leg up or like bend down easier without being like, or I'm already breathing like.
Not in the shower, all that steam.
Oh yeah, I lost all the weight, still breathing like that. People are like, oh, we thought it was a fat guy thing, and I'm like, nope.
But yeah, I think about it because it's been pointed out. It's one of those things Matt has pointed it out in like circles of people. Because Matt is the best at like, I forgot I said this thing one time, and then he brought it up, and I like don't think about it. And I remember someone, it's the other version of you, what I'm talking about. Like losing his mind is one of those things where he like never had like thought about it. And then a lot of people are like, it's a time thing. One thing, and I was even thinking about it today because I was randomly running behind because things fell out of order and I was waiting for something and then it took way longer and I was like, I can't be late. He's coming to my house. This would be so crazy. And then I was thinking about it when I was in the shower. I will never sacrifice my shower. Even if I'm late, like I have to shower just a certain way. Yeah. Otherwise, I feel like it just fucks my whole day up. No, I'll be later just to get the shower. I take a long shower.
And I love a good long shower. Like that's when I feel my best is when I can actually take the time to like scrub and get like a good long shower.
I've been in the past like woken up after I was supposed to be at work and been like, oh fuck, and I'm still gonna take the same shower. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'll rush the shit. I won't eat. I'll show
up late, but like I'm gonna be clean when I show up.
But I mean, like I'm not even doing like the fast one. I'm doing just my regular one.
Yeah.
But I've started washing my legs because I bought like these. I don't know, because I just use my hand and soap on it, and I've just always done it. And I always have such terrible skin, and I've been trying to figure out like how to make my skin better in any way because it's so fucked up. And then it's like, I don't know, it's like rubbery and they have like bristles, but it's like pretty soft, like those type of things.
It's like a loofah, but it's more like a scrub brush kind of thing.
Yeah, it's just rubbery and it's like very soft and it's all these tiny little bristles and like bigger ones. And I have like a hand-sized one and then a small one for my face. And I've been using those. And since I'm using those, then I was like, I guess I'll scrub the legs a little bit because my feet are also fucked up too because I get so many bug bites. And I'm like, maybe if I scrub the bug bites, they'll eventually not be like scars on my feet, which it feels like they're going to. I don't know where I'm going with any of this. But I was always, I've never done it. And I was that You're the Worst show we were talking about. And there's the one part where she's like, I'm going to wash my legs today. And the guy's like, you mean shave? And she goes, no, wash my legs. I just wash my legs like every 3 months. Otherwise, I don't do it. And I'm like, yes, that's me, except I don't even do it every 3 months. I'll do it like if I got dog shit on my leg or something.
Right, yeah, like if we're like in the river, we're like knee
river,
deep
beach, some nasty, like when my legs
walking
have been exposed,
17 miles out into the Chesapeake Bay.
Exactly, like real regular shit. Then I'll do it, but like I think day to day, knee down.
Yeah, like...
And my feet are probably, like, sweaty and stinky, but literally all of the soap and water
is running down
just
to your
covering
feet.
Them.
Now,
I've standing in it.
I've seen where you can get a thing for the shower where it's, like, it's suction cups on the bottom, and then it's, like, brush bristles, and then it has, like, an overhang to it, and you, like, slide your feet in and out of it, so you just kind of, like, squirt body wash on it, or, like, the soap runs down your body, and then you just scrub your feet with that.
I feel like it would tickle my feet too much.
I know. I feel like it would, but I feel like I would like it.
I feel like I would eventually.
Because you can't tickle yourself.
Like, I don't want to buy products to clean specific parts of my body, except maybe my dick, balls, and
I would buy a specific dick, ball, asshole cleaner if one existed.
I would like them to be separated. Like dick, ball, asshole.
Dick cleaner, ball cleaner, asshole cleaner.
Yeah, dick and ball cleaner can probably be because I'm just really rubbing
right, yeah,
around.
It's all mashed together all day anyway.
But I like hate the idea. It's how I feel. I just hate like
it's like wiping. It's like wiping back to front. Like you don't do it. Like you don't want. Like I know they're neighbors, but like they don't gotta always be in each other's yard.
And even if I we said this before, if I just take a handful of soap and just scrub my asshole, and then get out of the shower, I still don't believe that my asshole is clean.
Right.
Because all it does is make shit.
It just ejects shit
from
my body.
I don't even I used to be really bad about like drying my actual asshole because it feels like I'm wiping my ass on my towel that I'm trying to use for more days to be like conservative,
economic. Yeah.
So I dry my asshole now more than ever, and I really scrub it. But no matter what, like I don't think I want a thing in my shower.
Part of growing up is realizing you got to scrub the fuck out of your downstairs mix.
Yeah, part of growing up is realizing that there's been at least a decade or longer that you really didn't
like
do anything to your
girls
asshole.
were putting their mouth on your genitals.
On your asshole. Yeah,
not my asshole.
Girls were puckering their lips to your dirty, teenage asshole and loving it.
And just being like not knowing any better, just being
But the
so
older
happy.
we get, we're not willing to pucker our lips to asshole.
The older you
one of
get,
my
you
biggest
lose that
points.
drive to want to eat ass. And quite frankly, I feel like that's where youth is lost. When you want to stop putting your mouth on genitals and buttholes is when you lose your youth.
Walt Disney said it was when you lose your imagination, but it's clearly when you lose.
Because clearly you got to use
butt.
you got to use your imagination during oral sex to keep things creative.
Yeah. But I don't think I want a thing in my shower that just cleans my asshole because it's going to have the same feeling after like a couple weeks.
I'm like, that thing is just
that's
filthy.
Yeah.
What if it was like a futuristic, like, okay, it's like, not like a patch, but like something you can like.
Trying to get my asshole to stop smoking.
I mean, you know, traditionally he's back there really just puffing out, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of those hemorrhoids could be stopped if he could stop smoking the wrong end of a cigarette and making those little fires in the back of your
I
pants
think it's
constantly.
when he puts the cigarette out on me.
Yeah, that's the worst part is because he can't.
Puts the cigarette out on himself.
Well, he just doesn't have a lot of reach, you know. I mean, like
Right.
he can't like. There's not a lot he can do there. But like, okay, so you know, like
Seems like he does quite a bit.
you know, like those clear Band-Aids, like the big ones you put on like sun blisters that like are like see-through. And like it like creates a seal around it to keep it like moisturized and stuff. I'm thinking that, but like goes around your dick or dick and balls, and then one for your asshole. But it like seals it on there for like, let's say like 5 minutes, cleans it, and then you peel it off, and it's like a one-time use thing.
Oh, I love a one-time use asshole.
Because that's what I'm saying. I feel like if I'm gonna buy any product that is going to wash my ass,
peel your asshole?
It'll peel your asshole. Really strip away all that dead skin.
Yeah.
You know all the scar tissue you have on your asshole.
I do.
From where they had to create your asshole when you were a baby, which actually is a higher statistic than what you think when you read it.
I thought it was from where they took my twin.
Yeah, the twin that was conjoined with his dick at your ass.
Just, I don't like that. They were
Yeah.
supposed to both be buttholes.
Oh,
Pooping
just
back and
butthole to
forth
butthole?
forever.
Oh,
Whatever
man.
that's from.
Catdog?
Technically.
Because where does
implied.
Catdog poop?
We've been over this, and it's one of my biggest questions. People want to know what happens when you die, if God is real, and what the fuck is up with Catdog shit? Where does it go out of
How
the cat's
does it go?
mouth?
Does it split down the middle? Does it have like a cloaca that comes out?
I don't
Is
know.
it just like a tube, like a wet tube that comes out of its body and then waste is ejected?
You're walking that at the dog park? I don't know if you can.
Okay, first of all, you're walking a cat dog at the park and people are like, what the fuck is that? And then it unleashes its wet cloaca tube and just shits
Yeah,
everywhere.
people are like, what the fuck is that? But then that happens and people are vomiting and fainting. I'm
Yeah, and
assuming?
people are thinking it's John Carpenter's
Like,
The Thing all over
oh
again.
my god.
Oh my god, the smell and the steam from its cloaca ejection.
And then you're watching TV and you hear it in the corner and you look over and it's licking its cloaca. It's cleaning it. Yeah, was that too far?
Yeah, that's the
See,
sentence
imagine-
that did me in. The cat dog is licking its cloaca in the corner.
All right.
When
I don't know why it should be that loud.
Because
It's gotta
that
be a subtle
you
lick.
know when a dog is licking its asshole in the corner.
No, but it's not
because you're trying to
that
make sweet
crazy.
love to your girlfriend, and then between your
Well,
own,
there should be a lot of those sounds.
between
if you're
your
making sweet
slaps, you're
love.
just hearing like a slurp, slurp, slurp. I had to
I
roll.
think the aliens are here, baby.
Maybe I think aliens are here and they're slurping their way to the bedroom.
If he asks to cut in, I have to let him.
If he asks
We
to
can't
breed
start
with our
things
women.
off on bad terms.
Honey, if they ask to breed with our women, it's because they think you're so beautiful.
Yeah. Imagine you're the first woman.
Imagine the first star child.
I get cucked by the first alien
I get
encounter.
cucked an interstellar cuckery. I'm not even respected in the other planets.
They came right
There
here.
was like, which
and
is-
you're like, wow, did
what-
you land here accidentally? And they're like, no, found world's biggest cock.
They're like,
Walked right in.
what does that mean? It means you're a cuck.
Yeah. Like, I was with people.
Wow, it turns out cucking is universal concept.
Have you ever played that forehead game on the phone where you try to get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
People guess the word, or you have to guess the word. People give you clues, whatever.
Cook.
I had cuck was one of the ones. And
I fuck your wife.
No one I was playing with knew what it was, which I thought was crazy. But the one person guessing goes, it's like a vice grip for the penis. And I was like, what?
It's the noise of chicken.
Because I'm
makes.
like, I don't know what's going on up here. And then it ended up failing, and I lost because I couldn't get it. And I looked, and I was like, cock? And they're like, yeah, we don't know what that is. And I'm like, so
you sweet innocent
went
people.
Vice grip for the penis? Like, is that a product?
A vice grip?
for the penis.
I mean,
like,
I know like a penis pump, but that's not like a vice grip
right.
for
It's
a penis.
very different from a vice grip.
I did see something online the other day where some guy got a penis pump as like a gag gift. Like it was like his first, like his college roommates or something. They're like, hey man, here you go, mama. And then they were all like he was just bored one day. Like they were all watching a movie and it was stupid. And so like he went to go pee and he just like saw the pump laying there and he's like, why not? And so he tries it out and it gets stuck on his cock.
Yeah.
And he can't figure out how to release it. So he has to call everybody up and he's like, help me. And so like they finally figure it out. And then one of them was like, what made you want to go pump your cock while we were watching this movie?
Yeah, I feel like I've said this on here before, but what haven't we?
I don't want to harp on it.
I don't want to harp on it.
Ding. I miss you.
It dings in the dungeon.
Oh my god.
It's
It's like have you looked into that Blair Witch game at all?
no.
It's on sale because of like the Halloween on PlayStation or whatever, and so I was playing it last night, and you have to like manipulate video. Like you can take a videotape and watch it through your camera, and it can make like items appear in real life that you can interact with. I'm picturing that, but with the stuff in the dungeon, like we like they can hear us in the dungeon right now, and they're like, "What the fuck?" And they go
Building
down.
cigarettes are.
They just hear us talking, match it, but then they also hear the shit we're talking, like when the mics are off, and we're like, "Who are these pieces of shit that run this place?"
Yeah. All these bazingas.
All these bazingas, they're real bazinga if you want my bazinga opinion about it.
People are.
We're
I
really
just like what
leaning
that
heavily into the
sentence would be
bazingas.
without the bazingas.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are like, oh, I guess the Big Bang Theory is just a sham.
I hope you have a real bazinga day, you bazinga.
Hope your kids bazinga.
Yeah, your kid's a real bazinga, you know that?
But there was a show I used to watch called Naked Dating. It was on like VH1.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you can guess what the plot is. And so, yeah, it's like one person of whatever sex, they have 3 different dates, and they're naked from the beginning. They do everything naked, and then they fall in love. But then they all live at the house. So if people had a connection, but then they went with someone, and it was a very good show.
Spicy,
as far as
yeah.
my well-versed reality show experiences, it was up
You know
there.
Big Brother's still on TV?
Yeah, my mom always like what my mom would tell me.
Yeah, my
when I
uncle was
talked to
obsessed
her,
with that show.
She'd be like, "We're watching the new season." I'm like, "Still?" But yeah, Naked Dating, whatever. So there's one guy that comes up because like they're interviewing them in the clothes, and it like shows them undressing. Everything's censored, which it's like I'll pay a premium to see the uncensored thing just because I just want to. Dicks, tits, butts,
Why the fuck
everything.
not? Yeah.
You know what I mean? It makes it more interesting.
Let's fucking go, boys.
But
Like,
a guy shows up with a penis pump, and he like puts it on, and like they're like meeting in like it's some island where and everybody's naked, whatever. And then she can see him in the distance using the pump, and he doesn't realize it, and he's just fucking cranking it.
Yeah.
And then they walk up, and that's like one of the funniest parts is like the people meeting for the first time. They're always like firm eye contact, and then you can see they like both kind of take like a quick glance at some point, and then some people like try to like overcome that by being like real straightforward. So they'll come in for a hug, naked hug, first time meeting someone.
Not
crazy.
Happening. Not happening.
Feels inappropriate.
Very inappropriate if you want.
But yeah, it's very funny to see how they like go about it at first. And she's just staring at this guy's dick. And then when they go back to the house and there's people that they've already...
he's pumped the shit out of it. You'd be staring at it
So she goes back and there's people, like things have already happened. They know each other. And she's like, this guy pumped his dick. And now it's like normal, so everyone's like, what? And eventually they bring it up, and he's like, you guys want to see it? I'll pump it. Like, it's just like, it makes it look crazy. And they're like, yeah. So then it's just this guy in a house full of people pumping his dick in front of them. And then it's like the, like when they do the talking to the camera, like one-on-one, you know what I mean? Like each person, confessionals or whatever they're considered.
Are they naked in the confessional?
Yeah, they're naked.
Thank God.
I don't think they're allowed to be clothed, if I recall correctly. Like, 24 hours, and then like I said, you're in the house and you can meet other people who didn't click, so it should still be on. I'd like to campaign to bring it back, but this guy just pumps his dick.
That's what we're gonna be doing. We're not doing the podcast anymore, so we can focus on our naked dating revival.
VH1
revival.
God, it's so good.
Maybe that's what we can do. Let's start getting into reality TV.
Finally. How many years? And we finally, I constantly talk about.
I was going to say, why don't we put our money where our mouth is and make our own trash reality TV shows?
What will it be?
What? Okay, just a hot idea off the top of your head. Because you watch way more reality TV than I do.
I know, it's upsetting.
If you had to pick like one show that you haven't seen but would be like so crazy that you would be like, I have to watch this. What's something that is so out there?
It's got to be trashy.
It's got to be unbelievably trashy to the
Right.
point where you have to watch it to believe it.
Because like we were just talking about Love on the Spectrum. One of the most heartwarming, beautiful shows.
Beautiful
I've ever
show. Made me
seen.
cry.
Yeah,
Sobbed
made
at
me
the end.
cry,
It was
too.
wonderful.
It's great. It feels. Feels wrong.
I wish someone could love me as much as some of those couples love each other.
I
Like,
wish
sweet
people
Jesus.
could be as transparent.
Like the way
with
that
me,
guy
I
proposed
wish.
at the end.
I know.
Like and everything. And
It's
even
an
though he
angel.
was so anxious and everything, like he
He's
still
us,
did it
we're
because
both basically him.
Yeah,
which is the one part that. sucked
Yeah, I
about
saw the
watching
part with
it.
the socks and I was like, I
will ruin my day about a
know
small
a
thing
guy
as well.
who's just like me. When something small like this happens, will ruin the whole day. Yes,
Yeah.
it will.
So I want it to be trashy. Like my two favorite.
I'm thinking something with like a store, like Walmart or something like that, like something public.
Maybe, but then I feel like it always feels more fake.
Yeah.
Or it feels like, and people get ramped up. That's the thing with reality TV. Like people who aren't like just in like a cast per se, I feel like no, they're going to be on TV. And it seems like everyone has the thought of like, I bet I can get a spin-off. So they really turn up and then it just becomes
I think it would be
crazy.
really great just to do a reality show in like just like throw a dart. Okay, like take a list of all the Walmarts in America.
Mm-hmm.
Throw a dart. Because think about all the characters we had like at the one where we were.
I know.
And just do a reality show each season about like a different store somewhere and just about what happens in there and the lives of the people that are in
Right.
that store. Because think about it. Like some of these people where you're just like interviewing them, like imagine like because the small pieces we found out about some people's lives where we're like, what the fuck? Because imagine like Mr. Bloop Bloop. Like you could have an episode on that guy and just
Yeah.
like the things he could talk about, like just following him around the house. He's like, yeah, this is how we start the day, you know?
Yeah, it would. Yeah, that would be a good idea. I've thought of that before as well because it's so ridiculous. But yeah, I think there's got to be like love seems to be the main thing.
Well, that's why I'm saying a retail
works the
store
best.
too, because in stores like that, there's always people fucking in the cool or restaurants. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, waitresses and chefs and everybody just
'Cause my
banging
two-
back in the deep freeze,
My two favorite.
doing coke all over the place.
We all know how jobs work.
But that's what I'm saying. It'd be fun to watch.
I don't know. I feel like it could be, but yeah, I also feel like
Because then you get the drama where people start fighting about stupid shit at work and everything. And then you get the thing where people are throwing chairs in the break rooms and the old man's just trying to have his can of Vienna sausages over in the corner.
so specific.
Yeah, well,
My two favorite shows or brands, because they are mini shows now, is 90 Day Fiance, of course, and
course.
Love After Lockup.
I still need to watch
Love After
that.
Lockup is honestly better than 90 Day Fiance, but because that's like I don't know, but I think the main thing is like both of those scenarios are made to fail.
Right.
You're meeting someone, or like you have to marry someone in 90 days,
3 months,
and it's the
yeah.
first time you guys have like spent time together, and you're falling in love with someone in prison or jail, and then they're moving in with you when they get out. Like it's
I know someone in real life who is very close to me that is actually doing that. And
Yeah,
the inmate
that's
is getting out soon.
been like that's happened forever, but like seeing it, like that's what I mean. Both of those are like set up to fail. Like they shouldn't work, and that's why I think it is so funny to watch and ridiculous because it doesn't.
Right.
And there's so many red flags. So I feel like it has to be shit like that. I feel like the love stuff, because yeah, I feel like regular reality TVs never interest me. I like
Right, yeah.
like even like the naked dating one. It's like clearly set up to make things like messy.
Right,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like we're going to make sure everybody, because I think they don't tell them that like you pick one of these 3 people, you get to go back to the house with them and start like trying to date. And I don't think they realize the other 2 people will come as well. And that everybody, it's all up for grabs at that point. Just 'cause
Right,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like it's set up to be like evil and crazy. Or what was the one at the beginning of this year when things were okay? On
Tiger
Netflix.
King.
No, not that.
Uh,
Netflix, it was a dating show as well. For Love at First Sight, Love is Blind.
Love is Blind. Yeah.
That was, everybody loved that for that brief window. And that one was great too.
That's what I'm saying.
Everybody
Why
hated
can't you and I
Jessica.
just make just regular pitch, just one-off reality shows to go for like a season or 2, or maybe catch on? Because I'm saying like if we could do that retail store one, that would catch on for sure.
I feel like that has to have existed or been pitched. You know what I mean? I feel like you need, like, nowadays, like, the
like
Love
we
is
should just
Blind.
Open up a really shitty bar so we could be on Bar Rescue.
Yeah, I mean, I love that. Even if we're never on Bar Rescue,
Owned
we
by
just have a
former
shitty bar.
podcast host, the Dapper Dads.
Is this how you ran your podcast? And we're like, yes, that's why it didn't go anywhere.
We can tell. Like, he can't insult us at all.
Yeah,
We're just
like, we're way ahead of you,
yeah,
buddy.
this is what we say in our heads as we're falling asleep at night, buddy. Oh, yeah, you're really hurting my feelings, John Taffer. Yeah, you're really, oh, no, don't say that I'm a failure. Oh, no, don't say that all my problems are my fault.
You have to drink water when you drink. And you're, like, holding me back. Like, I won't fucking do it. You can't. Everybody that does it is a pussy.
Everybody, you got to drink one 8-ounce cup of water for every ounce of alcohol. Yeah, you're just doing the off-camera interview. Yeah. I almost hit John at that point because there's absolutely no way I'm going to be some fucking pussy.
Get the fuck out of here.
And he's like, what are you going to do? You're going to hit me? I'm here to help you.
Maybe that's why your business isn't working. Then he does that smug look and looks down and walks off camera. And, like, and there's a horse in the bar. That was my favorite episode. He does that thing. He's like, there's a horse in the bar and shit on the floor.
Does that thing. He's like yelling at me. He's like, your partner's going to need to listen to my ideas or I'm walking.
Yeah. He's going to take you down with him. Is this what you want?
Is this what you want? You want to keep letting him drag you down? I'm like, well, nobody's really talked to me like that about him before. This is interesting.
You're like, I'll kill all of us. I'm just like pouring gas on the bar. God, John,
you're filling up empty beer cans with gas to throw at the fire later.
Drinking them, it's confusing.
Oh, yeah, you're drunk off gasoline. Look at your partner. He's drunk on gasoline. Is this the type of business you want to run? There's a horse in the bar.
I like the idea of us, like, opening up a shitty bar with the dream of being on Bar Rescue, and it never happens. And people come in and they're like, this drink sucks. And we're like, we're trying to be on Bar Rescue.
Have
you seen it? And they're like, yeah. A decade ago, is that show still on? We're like, we're not sure. Neither of us have cable, and we won't do a simple Google.
And we won't pay for cable
because we want to live in this world where we can be rescued. Call John Tapper, maybe submit it to him.
Maybe he could do like a special one-off episode just for
us. I'll give you a shot if you submit us to Bar Rescue. The shots are clearly just iced tea. And
I'm like, it's just,
we don't have.
It's a long
running a bar
island,
is very expensive.
It's a Long Island iced
I thought it would be
shot.
cheaper because a lot of times they're $100,000 in debt, and in your head you're like, how do you even do that?
Like, how do you even rack up that much money?
No one stops you.
Yeah, like, how do you promise
and they
that?
Assume you're gonna. Someone who has to take $100,000, they assume is going to be able to repay the $100,000.
Right, and because I feel like at a certain point you got to go, okay, a bar is suddenly going to bring me $100,000.
And you hear that and you're like, I didn't know it was possible.
Because it's like, who do you owe? Do you owe like the liquor distributor? Do you owe the city for your license? Like, what do you owe?
You just own people you take loans from. Because the liquor distributor is going to stop bringing you liquor if you don't pay. I think you just keep taking loans. But yeah, I get the idea of like, that's all set up for you to fail. Like letting you get a bunch of money that you can reasonably pay back. $100,000
is not something.
When am I going to make
$100,000? I don't even think in my life yet I've made $100,000.
I know. I don't think I've been close to it.
No.
Our bar definitely would.
The bar, the way we sell iced tea shots would definitely not be racking in $100,000.
I think the problem would be all the drinking we're doing. It's implied.
But I feel like we're smarter when we drink. Just a couple of beers, though.
I know.
I mean, sometimes it's more than a couple. But you know when you get there.
Well, how long is my shift? You know what I mean?
Well, right. You know, if I'm here,
maybe if this asshole wouldn't make such a strict schedule. I'm gonna be here
for 14 hours a day. I mean,
I guess I'm the owner. I gotta check in.
Yeah, I gotta check in.
I'm just the owner that's sitting at the bar smoking, and they're like, "That's the owner." They're in the car, and he's like, "That's the owner.
That's the guy. That's
go
the guy
and get the food.
Go get the food." Go see what it looks
like.
Be
my recon. My very obvious recon. We have duct taped cameras all over the bar. And no one knows they're on Bar Rescue. You're like, there's literally cameras duct taped and
that have Bar Rescued branded into the side of them.
Yeah, it's crazy, but it's the dream I want to live.
Someday.
I want to have the bar that John Taffer can't rescue.
Yeah, like
he's like, I don't fucking know what you guys have
like
done.
It's so bad that he can't do jack. And I've seen some things, man.
Yeah, I've been to some of the most spectacularly terrible bars.
Yeah, we all have.
I've spent a lot of time at specific ones repeatedly out of my own personal decision.
Just because you want to be there for the aesthetic.
Yeah, and you're like, this place is really
why won't they stop talking about Bar Rescue?
We get it. They're watching Bar Rescue.
That's got to be a nightmare listening to a scream about bar rescue as you're trying to
Bar
watch
rescue.
bar rescue.
It's very confusing. It's like commentary. It's like that idea we.
But somehow at the same time, we and John Taffer scream, "There's a horse in the bar!"
That's just, I don't even remember like that episode really.
But I know it's on every best of thing on YouTube.
Yeah, and it was usually on like the beginning like montage.
I think I downloaded like every episode of Bar Rescue.
You had told us that because that was one of the things you've done that none of us as the Dad Squad could believe that you had not been familiar with Bar Rescue.
Yeah.
And we were like, wait, what? Like I've referenced Bar Rescue since I've started watching it in bars. Like we call it a taffer when we see someone drink water, because that's like one of the, and like I know we've talked about this, but it bears repeating. The statistics are so crazy the show. Like when they have like how much more, like you'll sell this much more vodka if you move the stools an inch this way. And it's like very like thought out and makes sense. Or like I always love the one that's like, if you have a problem with gang members, start playing only country in the bar. Within 2 weeks there will no longer be any gang members in your bar. I don't like the term gang members because I feel like it's thrown around in a really bad way. But it is interesting to hear things like that, because you're like, oh, that would make sense, because like I'm not a gang member except for the Big Dick Gang. But if they played country in a bar that I fuck with, and every time I went there it was just country and I couldn't play the obnoxious rap songs,
because how many dudes do you know that are like, I listen to everything except country?
Yeah. And I mean, if we're talking old country and I've tied a couple on, then I'll be there all night. But yeah, if we're playing like this modern country and shit, even just poppy stuff, if I'm not getting like a little bit, I would stop going there 1,000% forever. And it is crazy that you don't think about that. Or just they'll be like,
imagine if every time we popped into CJ's, it was just nothing but country all the time.
Yeah. I need to be like, I'm going to keep trying, but I'm just like going to peek my head in, and you know pretty quickly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Or even like the flow of like traffic in the bar where they're like, if you make people like have to like kind of touch each other, then they're more likely they'll just buy more drinks because they're touching people, and you're like, is that real? And they're like, these are the studies behind it. And you're like, damn, that's crazy, because you think I prefer to be in a bar where I don't have to like
if I have to touch people, I'm like, let's get the fuck out of here.
But then I've spent a lot of time at bars that are just absolutely packed to the brim back when that was a thing. That'll probably never come back. I hope John Taffer is still able to rescue bars. He's doing like Zoom rescues. Show me the kitchen.
He's on like one of those bomb squad robots with an iPad on the top, just spinning around.
Yeah, he's just screaming, robot.
Screaming, they just turn him off.
Taffer. He's like, I think there's a horse in the bar.
You've been Taffered. Bazinga.
Or what we got to do, it's possibly my favorite genre of bar rescue, is really, really, really needs help. Fucked up, crazy. You're like, this one of the worst ones I've ever seen. Does not want to listen to John Taffer. Whole struggle, argument, second act, a lot of turmoil. Then accepts it, unveiling, cries, can't believe it's going to be great. The last second, the text says that they reverted back and they're back to losing their money and doing everything.
Yeah.
That's my favorite one. You're like, you had the fucking
they brought in a professional crew of people to help you.
You got like special drinks, special food menu.
They paid to remodel
John
your
Taffer,
bar.
And yeah, they remodeled it. You got the POS systems. That's what they always say. We got cold lines. This beer is going to come out at a crisp 67 degrees, which is the perfect
hot beer
temperature. Yeah, you're like, oh. And all the regulars are like, where's my boiled beer? This beer's far too cold. It hurts my teeth. It hurts the roots of my stems that are what my teeth were.
That's why they always, that's why I came here, for the hot beers.
And it's like Slim and Drama are back in debt 3 days later.
Black and white, just chugging beer.
They're like, they ripped out the cold taps, said it was too cold for their stupid teeth. They put a horse in the bar immediately after John left.
Just brought him back. John tied him up out back and just brought him back in.
He's backing. John Taffer's backing out when he does that. Walks outside, looks at the bar, looks at the camera, and walks away like, I did a good thing. Gets his car. You see us pushing a horse in the bar.
Just by the ass.
Come on! Get the fuck in. There's
Smacking
a bunch of
it
people
on
in
the
there.
ass.
They'll really appreciate the horse if there's a bunch of people. Why is it freaking out? Just get this horse.
Smacking it on the ass. Get in there.
I'm on it with spurs, just stabbing it because I never understood why that's a thing.
That's literally what it is.
I know, but I'm just like really willy-nilly with it. Up top. Like, come on, boy.
Horse.
Yeah, a mini horse, of course.
Of course.
A mini horse.
A mini horse, of course. Bazinga.